Hello, welcome to the July UN Info Session. My name is Rachel Nance, and I am with the San Diego chapter of the United Nations Association. The San Diego chapter was established in 1946 and promotes engagement with the United Nations by translating global initiatives into a local context through education, advocacy, and other programs. You can learn more about these programs and what we do in our website, unasd.org. It is here where you can also view our previous UN info sessions or watch them on our YouTube channel. Today, we will be discussing how we can grow into becoming a more sustainable society and honoring our planet through the actions that we take. I'm pleased to welcome our guest, Katrina Oprisko, who is the founder of Earthwell. Earthwell is a small business located in Kensington, San Diego. Its mission is refill, reuse, create, and it is a unique organization in that one of the main services it offers is refilling recycled containers that customers bring in with a variety of eco-friendly and vegan products such as shampoo, lotion, and body wash. In addition to their refill station, Earthwell supports other small businesses and shows love to the environment by promoting sustainable products. There is a large variety of items that this business offers, products ranging from scrub brushes made from coconut husks to reusable paper towels. Earthwell is an incredibly innovative and uplifting organization. It is inspiring to see the ways that this small business places love for our planet at the center of its mission, all the while supporting other businesses in the process. Thank you so much for being here, Katrina.
Thank you for having me.
So our Sustainable Development Goal 9 aims to promote sustainable industrialization and innovation, which Earthwell does a great job of. Seeing just how innovative that Earthwell is, I'm curious to ask you, Katrina, what was your vision for opening your business?
I always wanted to have a store that offered non-toxic ingredients. I wanted to have a couple of barrels. As soon as you walk into the store, you could find salt, you could find baking soda, you can find white vinegar. I thought that would be just the most coolest store ever, because that's what I use to clean my house with. And I thought, oh my goodness, why am I always getting more containers of these essential ingredients? Why can't I just refill it? And so that was our vision, really. That was our vision, is that why we started Earthwell Refill. We wanted to, my husband and I own it. We wanted to have a store that made it easier for people to live environmentally, who had an environmental intent, as it should be, as if I could say that. And so we found a refill shop. And so this isn't my own creation. We found a refill shop, and we were thinking, oh my goodness, this is the best thing ever. So we said, why don't we try and open it ourselves? And that's what we did.
I think your store is truly remarkable. You collaborate with and lift small businesses by shelving their products. You encourage the public to reuse their plastics and be more mindful of items they are consuming, and you influence others to be more kind to our planet as a whole. I also noticed while reading your biography that you have created citywide composting programs and have been a large advocate for mindful recycling for some time now. Seeing as you are aware of recycling and practicing mindfulness within the community at large, are there any tips that you can give us on how to be better advocates for our planet? What are some simple steps that we can incorporate into our daily living to show kindness to this earth?
Oh, I would just say just a plan. Whenever you go shopping, decide, do I really, make a list of what you need to get. Do you really need to buy, everyone has lots of wants, but do you actually need what you are going to get? I think a lot of people should start to live intentionally, and that's very easy to do. And you don't have to start with the whole entire household. You can just do it for one item. Say you want to take a bamboo fork with you, or better yet, you don't have to take a bamboo fork. You can just take your silverware from your drawer and take that silverware with you and use that. So easy, so simple. It doesn't cost any money. I would also say, think things through for the simple ways. It doesn't always have to be so advanced in order for it to make an impact.
I like that. I like that. It's just being mindful of the small things. And you're totally right. Even just grabbing a fork or those bamboo straws you guys have, just little things that you can take with you and just prevent consuming extra plastic.
Right. I think a lot of people have to remember that it's you don't have to reinvent the wheel in order to I know I'm talking in cliches, but I totally believe in them. I think there's a reason that they're around. But anyway, these practices have been around for a long time. Like we have the collapsible cup, and that was very popular in the 1970s. It's just that it got forgotten, and so we're bringing that back. We have feminine products that we promote Glad rags. That again, people used to use this kind of feminine product before, before the I believe 1970s, late 1970s. So again, we're just reinventing. We're not reinventing the wheel. We're just finding the common practices.
I like that you're innovative, but you're still using those old products. It's very, kind of have the best of both, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Going off of that question, we are aware that there was a styrofoam ban in the city of San Diego in 2019, but the ban was reversed that same year. How do you believe organizations and companies can be held accountable to utilize more sustainable practices and offer eco-friendly products to the community? Additionally, do you believe that we can learn and better understand the long-term benefits from cities like Encinitas and Solana Beach who are following a polystyrene ban?
That's a great question. Encinitas and Solana Beach are really great examples, and it's because they're a small population that they're able to hold people accountable. Encinitas was one of the first cities I knew that had the to-go clamshell container, and they were offering it to their citizens. And I thought that was wonderful. That's a great way to motivate people to encourage everyone to not use the styrofoam, to not use the plastic takeout containers. I think when you get to a larger city like San Diego, you'd have to have a little bit more incentives. And you really need to, hopefully the local government will have a hand in it. If you want to make widespread changes, large changes. And I think, like, for instance, I know that in October of this year, San Diego is going to have a curbside composting.
Okay.
And that will make a huge difference because I believe California has to reduce its organic material in the landfill by 50%. And that will make a huge difference in our landfill and for people to actually, once they get the containers, once you get that education, everyone will probably be on board. And then instead of what we have right now, we have a couple of organizations trying to compost. And that's working. That's really working. But they do request that you pay for it. This way, San Diego's not asking that you pay for it. They're just going to give you the bucket, and you're going to send all your perishables, including meat, to their aerobic, I guess, I'm not really sure what it's called, but it's part of the landfill that'll disintegrate meat and everything. It gets really hot in there. So that example shows you that I have much hope for their composting to take off because it's going to be a citywide initiative. It's actually a countywide initiative, but anyway.
And I see what you're saying about the government intervening. For those larger cities, it's definitely a bit necessary. And I think the information, how you brought up, like they are telling people about it, like what is composting, giving that information, because I think sometimes people don't really seek that information on their own. So it's nice that the government would provide that for people.
And also it'll make it work better, San Diego has a very good recycling website. They have really good resources. They're trying to educate everyone. But they probably just don't have the money to really reach a lot of people. And that's something that I think once people start composting, it really works like a domino effect. once you start doing one thing with intent, you start to reach and think about doing other things. So for instance, like people are refilling their own plastic containers. Then they start to think, okay, well, maybe then I can compost. Or then maybe I don't need to go to, a cafe all the time. I can actually sit in that cafe and not do takeout, but sit there and relax and enjoy a cup of coffee. It just opens your mind up to different ways of doing things.
Definitely. And I think if that composting program got implemented, people would think more about what kind of plastic am I consuming? Where is this food going that I'm composting? They might start to be more mindful of that. I can definitely see how that would be a trickle effect in a sense.
Yes, that's exactly, yeah. It seems that they just need to get a little push.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'm excited for the fall when that program comes out. That'll be awesome to see.
Fingers crossed that it'll stay on schedule.
Yeah, I know, right? So while researching, I found that only 9% of plastic is recycled, despite education and efforts to increase recycling. Nearly half of all plastic produced is for one-time use, and plastic takes around 450 years or longer to break down into microplastics, which are smaller pieces of plastic that enter into ecosystems. Microplastics are shown to have harmful effects when ingested by marine life as well as by humans. Seeing that reducing the consumption of plastic in San Diego is so important for the community as a whole, how do you find like-minded businesses to partner with?
I go to symposiums. There's something called Zero Waste San Diego. So I'll go there and try and networking. I look for non-toxic ingredients. If you find a non-toxic ingredient, most likely they'll have an idea of how to reduce the plastic. They'll be like-minded individuals. Colleges like UCSD, USD, and SDSU are all trying to combat the plastic on their campus. And so in the beginning, when we did have a lot more fairs, you would see me at those fairs talking to people, introducing the idea of refill. So then I would then meet more like-minded people. So that's one way. That's how I've met more and more people in the same kind of business.
So I noticed that you are very transparent in your products and all of the ingredients that you use. I know that sulfates and parabens are potentially harmful chemicals found in a lot of products that we use and consume. Sulfates can be negative for one's hair as they tend to strip natural, healthy oils out of the hair and can end up in our water systems. Parabens can create allergic reactions and disrupt hormone function. You have many natural products at your store that are paraben-free, non-GMO, and non-toxic. Can you explain why you have chosen to sell the natural products that you have? Do you believe that investing in more natural products can not only be beneficial for us as humans, but for our environment as a whole?
Well, I'm an avid gardener. I may not be a very good gardener, but I love plants. And so for me, I always look into the botanicals for all ingredients. I also want to make sure that when I read an ingredient description, I can pronounce the ingredients. I also, when I do my research, we do research, we have a lot of people come in and say, oh, can you try our product? Are you interested in selling this? And we do look at the products. And if we cannot pronounce what's in there, I make sure everyone gives us the ingredient list. I say, I'm sorry, no. I even had someone give me something and it said natural flavoring. I was like, well, what does natural flavoring mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I said, I'm not going to sell that because there are other options and they're not more expensive. They are just, I believe that if it's made from a plant, it is much better for your body.
Definitely.
All
And I know,
the way around.
yeah. And I read that some of the chemicals that a lot of the store brand companies use is for long-term use, so you can have it for years and years, and the shampoos and stuff don't go bad. But when you think about it, we use shampoo and body soap all of the time, and so it's kind of like not necessary. And I know a lot of the more natural products, you can have them for 6 months and they stay great, and you would most likely use them within that time period. And so I think that's awesome that you're very mindful of that, and you are selective with what you are supporting and what you're providing to customers. Someone actually told me about this app called Think Dirty. Have you heard of that?
No, what is it?
It's an application. It's called Think Dirty, and it basically, you can take a picture of any product that you own, and it will give you a scale from 1 to 10 on how harmful the product is. And 10 is, I believe 10 is very harmful, and then 1 is like not harmful at all. And then you can click on it and see what ingredients are in it, why it's rated the way that it's rated, and it just gives you a description about it. And it's very interesting if you're interested in, products that you're consuming.
Oh, so it's kind of like the EWG website, but more modernized.
Probably, yes.
Yeah, so that's one thing I do go to is the EWG to get a good guideline. That's the Environmental Watch Group website, and they too, like you just said, they'll take a product and they'll tell you all the ingredients, and they'll tell you whether they're harmful for you or non-toxic, and there's a scale between 1 to 5. So it seems similar. So that's when I found out that OxyClean, I thought OxyClean, it's on the grocery stores. It must be so toxic for you. It's not. It got an A on the EWG, and that is something that you never would have thought of. I mean, at least I hadn't, and I was very pleasantly surprised.
It's nice that we have these resources available, because I think it is you can, of course, make all of your products natural, but the chances are you're going to have at least a few store brand products. And so it's nice that we have these resources available to check and see what are we using. Even if it's from a store, it doesn't mean it's bad. We just have to check to see what we are consuming as a consumer,
Right, exactly. And that's just a good example into, don't judge a book by its cover. Again, back to my cliches, but it's good to definitely double check. Don't just assume that the products that we were using beforehand were not as clean as they could be.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I now have a brief presentation to discuss the Sustainable Development Goals, why they are important to us, and how our viewers at home can take actions to achieve the goals locally. The SDGs were created in 2015 and supported by all UN member states in the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development Initiative. There are 17 SDGs that address the global call to action to promote various initiatives such as gender equality, ending poverty, and creating sustainable cities and communities. I'm going to touch on just a few of the SDGs that coincide well with Earthwell's mission, and I'm going to bring up actionable steps that you can take at home to play a part in reaching these Sustainable Development Goals. So here are all of our Sustainable Development Goals. The first goal I'm going to touch on is SDG 9, which is to build resilient infrastructure, promote inclusive and sustainable industrialization, and foster innovation. One actionable step you can take is to reuse your plastic containers and bring them into Earthwell to fill with eco-friendly products. SDG 12 is to ensure sustainable consumption and production patterns. An actionable step that the viewer can take is to be aware of the amount of plastic you're consuming, opt out of using plastic straws, be sure to recycle, and look into composting. SDG 12 is life below water, conserve and sustainably use the oceans, seas, and marine resources for sustainable development. An actionable step here would be to participate in a beach cleanup. Also, check out reusable straws at Earthwell, including durable bamboo straws. And the last SDG I'm going to touch on here is SDG 15, which is to protect, restore, and promote sustainable use of terrestrial ecosystems, sustainably manage forests, combat desertification, reverse land degradation, and halt biodiversity loss. A step that our viewers can take is to pick up trash if you come across it to show love to our land. And with that, I would like to thank you again for participating in such an important discussion and would like to encourage our community to join our monthly UN info sessions. Thank you for watching. Please feel free to follow UNASD and Earthwell on social media. Take care. Thank you so much again, Katrina, for being here.
Thank you.